This is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. Today I have a few good friends with me. Here's Rick, Dina, and Kailash Niels and myself, John Kohler. We've all been successful long-term raw vegans, living the raw foods lifestyle. Now we've each done things a little bit differently in our lives, but we've all been successful due to some commonalities. So we're going to share with you basically our histories and how we got into raw foods and what we eat on a daily basis so that you could learn what really works. I've been into raw foods for 15 years. I started in 1995, and the reason why I got into raw foods was because I had failing health. As a child, like Rick had some issues as a child, I had some issues. I had asthma, allergies, dry skin conditions, and I was just not too well as a child. So, that was all right. I could deal with all that stuff through childhood, through going to high school, and then in college. And then after college, after I graduated college, I was stricken with spinal meningitis. And, that was not a fun situation. I was put in the intensive care unit into the hospital, and the doctors told me that I might not make it out alive. Wow. So that was not a fun place to be, in here, just graduated from college in my 20s or at any age. So unfortunately, I didn't know about raw foods at that point because maybe I could have avoided the situation, in my opinion. But I got through that situation through, I can only say, higher powers. Or, there's some reason for me being here today. So I had to learn how to basically rebuild my immune system because the doctors told me I got that spinal meningitis because I had what's called complement immune deficiency, which in layman's term is basically a chronically weak immune system. So I needed to find out how to build my immune system, and I first learned about juicing and then doing some cleansing, and then I learned about raw foods and how that could build your immune system. So I figured if I want to live, I need to live on this living in raw foods diet for the rest of my life. So that's pretty much what I've been doing for the last 15 years. And my diet, is pretty similar to Rick's, a little bit different though. So I converted my front yard to grow the majority of my vegetables. So 90 to 95% of my vegetables come out of my front yard year round. So, this is something I've really only gotten into in the last couple years. So people that say, oh, John grows all his own food and that's why he's successful. Well, I've only really been growing a significant portion of my food for the last 2 years, although I have been growing some level of food in smaller amounts for the last 10 years, basically. So what I do on the standard day is pretty much similar to Rick. I eat large amounts of fruit, until I'm full. So today I had, 2 smaller cantaloupes, and then, I had some mangoes or nectarines. I usually try to do mono meals, and what that means is I eat one thing until I'm pretty much happy and I've eaten enough. So, mono meals in the morning. Oh, and before I wake up, actually, I'll usually just drink water, and then I'll work for a while until I really get hungry. I just don't eat right when I get up because, breakfast is supposed to be breaking our fast. So I think that we should just drink water until we're really hungry, until we earn our breakfast. We should just get up and not instantly load up with a whole bunch of stuff, and put that in our bodies, and our body has to deal with it, and it's still kind of waking up and getting ready for the day. The next meal I do, I'll have meals, and I'll have little sub meals. Sometimes I have sub meals. It could be like going out in my front yard and just grazing. And I literally go out and pick different things, whatever's ripe, whatever I feel like eating, whether it's herbs, greens, tomatoes, cucumbers this time of year, or other different things I'm growing, whatever it may be. And then maybe later I'll have a green smoothie or a fresh vegetable juice, or maybe more fruit, depending on what's ripe in my house and what I feel I'm wanting that day. So my green smoothie is always usually a coconut-based smoothie with coconut water, that's fresh coconut water, and a little bit of mature coconut meat, or maybe more of the young coconut meat. I tend to use more mature coconuts these days, and along with some greens, fresh picked from my garden as well, and usually some bananas or other fruit as the fruit in my smoothie to make it sweet. So I generally only use one fruit in my smoothie. I tend to try to keep things really simple, under 6 ingredients in most of the meals that I eat. Later in the afternoon, I might have a little bit more fruit or go out grazing again in my garden since it's right there and it's really good and I just love it so much. And then for dinner, much like Rick, nice huge bowl of salad. So every night I'll go out to my garden and see what needs to get picked or what I have abundance of or what is going to go bad if I don't pick it. And I'll just pick a whole bowl of that, and I really try to rotate what I'm eating every day. So instead of eating romaine lettuce tonight, romaine lettuce tomorrow, I'll eat tree collards today. I'll eat, miner's lettuce tomorrow, or whatever other greens I have. I could eat Malabar spinach, a salad full of Malabar spinach, and I try to eat other weedy type things, as well, and try to get a whole bunch of different varieties. And that'll pretty much do it, for me for the day. It's been working now for 15 years, And so with that, we're going to go ahead and go to Kailash next.
All right, John, thanks for having me.
All right.
So my childhood was a little bit different from John's and Rick's. Actually, I was a very, very healthy child growing up, and fortunately I was born into a vegetarian household. So I never had meat in my entire life. I was raised on dairy, no eggs. And so when I was growing up as a child, my health was very, very strong. I don't remember being sick. I was very, very healthy. However, the teenager years, when they came, I started eating more junk vegetarian foods, fried foods, sodas, and so forth. And the quality of my health went down so much. And at the time I was an athlete, I still am, and I ski, I skateboard, I did all kinds of things. Then I changed them a little bit. Now I do more water sports. But at that time, I felt my health, I was only 15, 16 years old, my health was going down. And then when I was 18, this was in 1995, same year as John started, I heard about raw foods and how that can give you more energy, more vitality, you need to sleep less and so forth. And I thought, wow, this is great. I'm going to try this. I'm going to give this a try. I was already vegan for a few years. And then I thought, this is the next step. And so in 1995, I made a commitment to only eat raw foods 100%. And I have kept that commitment because I just feel so good with it. I don't have any cravings for cooked food. I don't like cooked food anymore. I haven't tried it, so maybe I would, but I haven't tried. I have no cravings for it, so I have no reason to eat any cooked food. So for 10, almost 11 years, I've been working with the Ann Whitmore Institute down in Puerto Rico, where I moved from Germany, where I was born and raised. And so a typical day, so I live in the tropics, so we have really lots of different bananas, varieties of bananas, and lots of tropical fruits that I don't even find here in the States. Some of them I don't even remember the names. There's so many. So I get a big variety of tropical fruits where I live in Puerto Rico. A typical day, I usually start I eat 4 meals a day usually. Breakfast, lunch, a snack, and then dinner. And before I eat breakfast, I drink a lot of water and coconut water. So I have a commitment to drink 4 cups of water before I start eating. So every morning, the first 4 hours of my day, I drink lots of water, at least 4 cups, and I drink 1 or 2 coconuts. And then I start eating some foods. It's either fruits or a smoothie. So many days I just cut open a papaya or 2, take the seeds out, and that would be my breakfast. I love that. That'll keep me for hours and hours. Or I would eat some of the delicious apple bananas or jackfruit or some other fruit that I can find, atomoya. And I like to keep it pretty simple because I feel best when I just eat 1 fruit at a time. If I make a smoothie, I may put some small amount of soaked flax seeds in there. With bananas, mango if they're in season, and whatever fruit I have around, and I'll put that in the smoothie. Sometimes I put some greens in the smoothie, make a green smoothie. So that would be my breakfast. And then for lunch, I typically eat a salad, and depending on what's around, what I have, it may be with a sunflower pate or almond pate. I love avocados. I may eat it with half an avocado. I don't eat a lot of avocados anymore. And lots of different greens at the Ann Whitmore Institute. We are growing lots of greens, of course, the sunflower greens, the buckwheat lettuce. We have purslane, we have collard, chard, and so on in our garden, the raised beds. And so I eat lots of greens for lunch with a small portion of fat, which might be pate or avocado. And then in the afternoon, I typically eat what I eat for breakfast. Not the exact same, but my breakfast and my afternoon snack are interchangeable. So let's say I had just papayas for breakfast, then often in the afternoon I feel like making a smoothie. But again, some days I have papayas for breakfast, I have papaya in the afternoon, and I love it. Do I get bored with this? Not at all. I love papayas, I love apple bananas, I love jackfruits. I can eat big jackfruit for 3 weeks every day, and I love it until the next fruit is in season, and then the next fruit. So for dinner, I tend to blend greens with a little avocado, or again flax, some seed, or some oily food, and I take lots, like the bowl you saw that Rick showed you. That amount at least I would blend, and at the Wigmore Institute we use Rejuvelac, the fermented cultured drink or food, and I love the flavor of that actually. So I put some of that with the avocado, the other seed if I use one, all blended with the greens, sunflower greens, buckwheat, lettuce, and whatever I have around, kale, chard, blend it, and that would be I eat it slowly, put some dulse in there, and that would be my typical dinner, and I like to eat not later than 7 o'clock. And my breakfast, to give you some ideas about when I eat what, I tend to eat my breakfast between 8 and 9 o'clock, and I'm up pretty early, usually between 4 and 5, so I drink my water before I start eating my breakfast. And then lunch is usually at noon, afternoon snack usually at 3 or 4 o'clock, and then dinner I eat between 6 and 7 o'clock. And after 7:30 I prefer not to eat, because again, since I wake up early, I also like to go to sleep early.
All right, great, Kailash. So as you can see, 3 different people, 3 different diets, raw food diets, and they're all working. Basically, we have some commonalities I want to point out. The commonalities are eating, a good percentage of our diets are mostly fresh fruits and fresh vegetables. And we all probably would agree that we do pretty much a low fats and not too much fats in our diet. I mean, for me, I eat maybe a handful or 2 of nuts a day, if that. I mean, that's the most. And would you guys agree? Pretty much low fat?
Moderate, maybe.
I eat maximum 1 avocado a day, and if I have avocado, I tend not to eat any other seeds or nuts.
Yeah.
If I eat, let's say, almond pate, let's say for lunch, maybe almond pate, then maybe a little flax for dinner, I tend to not eat more than 1 avocado or 1 handful of nuts or seeds a day.
Yeah, and in my day I had a nut-based dressing, although there were a lot of vegetables in there over a lot of salad vegetables. But if I were to eat, say, something, some nuts or avocado at lunch, I would have a lighter dinner. So I think it's similar. Some fat, but we don't go overboard on it.
Exactly. And we rarely eat any kind of processed foods or processed raw junk foods. Remember, so to sum it up, diet rich in fresh fruits and vegetables is what the raw food diet should be about, but it's getting into buying all these products nowadays. So once again, this is John Kohler with OKRaw.com, and keep eating those fresh fruits and vegetables. They're the best for you.